determines the value of a penny black. There were 68 million printed, about 3 million have survived in one condition or another, mostly in bad condition, and it means this is not really a rare stamp in its own right, but these stamps are highly desirable and coveted by collectors all around the world. It's the most famous stamp ever produced. It's the first stamp ever produced, and your collection is not really of any value without having a penny black in it. But all these penny blacks have different values, and how do you tell the difference between an expensive penny black and a rare penny black? Well, the first thing is to look at whether it's mint or used. Mint stamps are more valuable than used stamps. The next is its physical appearance. Does it look good? Has it been damaged? Are the margins there? And from which plate did it come from? Well, mint stamps are much more valuable than used stamps. And in penny blacks, a mint stamp such as this would be 1,000 times rarer than a used stamp. So that is going to determine its value. Mint stamps, the two most important factors to think about, which are specific to mint stamps, is: has the glue been removed, the gum been removed on the back, or has it been damaged? Has it not? And has the stamp been hinged or mounted or not? Those two things will decrease the value of a mint stamp. Also, even if there is the gum there, has it been tropicalized by being exposed to a hot climate? In terms of used stamps, well, things that are specific to a used stamp is the fact that it has been used or cancelled. If you look at the postmark, the Maltese cross, some are nice and clear, some are smudged or indistinguishable, and this does determine whether that stamp appears nice or not. Also, some Maltese crosses came from different places and were slightly different and are rarer, such as the Mullinger cross. And the colour of the Maltese cross, as the inks were different, dependent on which city mixed what. Some of those inks were rarer, like the blue ink. That will determine also the value of a stamp. Of course, there are factors that affect both mint stamps and used stamps. So the damage, for example, is it cut, torn, are there holes, creases, has it even been washed? I mean, some stamps are washed off the page, These will decrease the value of the stamp. Margins is another really important factor. I mean, these stamps were printed in Perfect and then they needed to be cut out. So some stamps have been cut badly and are missing margins or even been cut into the stamp. And that will affect its condition, whether it's mint or used. So the condition, hence the value of the stamp. So the number of margins and the width of the margins are key to value. Last but not least is the plate. The penny black was printed from 11 plates, or 12 if you count plate A and plate B as separate. And some were printed in larger volumes. Some were far fewer, like plate 10 or plate 11. Actually, plate 11, which was printed specifically or produced specifically for penny red, was only used to produce 700 sheets of penny black. So a penny black coming from a plate 11 is going to be rarer and hence more valuable. So you can see on this slide we have a really damaged stamp. You can see it's all creased, it's been badly cut. The corner of the D letter is cut into. There's a stain in the middle too, right? You can look. And well, I'm afraid it's only got one margin. So this is really at the low end of what you're going to be buying. It's about 60 pounds to buy this one, or similar. The only good thing I would say about this, it's got a nice cancellation of the Maltese cross. So I guess that's why it's got a little bit of value. The next one's a little bit clearer already. Just adding another £30 to the value. Here we are, we've got a good used plate 4 with clear cancellation in a red Maltese cross. It does only really have one large margin and 2 smaller margins. I would classify this as a lower value 3 margin stamp. However, the F has been cut into, which depreciates in its value considerably. Next one, we're now up to £175. It's a good used plate 5, 4 clear margins at last, but it has been toned. This is why the price is a little bit lower. £280. Here we're into the normal price for a good used penny black plate 8 with 4 clear margins. This is the sort of collectible people are looking for. Now we're reaching into the new stamps, or the mint as we say. This one has got some surface damage. It does have 3 margins, no gum, and it is a reasonable cost at about £1,000. This is really the low end of the mint. £1,500 gets you 4 clear margins, a little bit of gum, but it has been mounted. Still, it's a very nice stamp for your collection. And then you really need to get into the higher prices, add another 0 at 10,000 to get the 4 clear margins with gum and unmounted mint.